Hi guys, it's MTG here, and it seems like with all the new phones coming out, people are already forgetting about the Google Pixel 2 XL. This is Google's latest flagship, and it's been on the market for over a month now. You probably heard all about the screen issues that people were having with the phone, so I wanted to wait to do a comprehensive review until I both had ample time to use it and I could use it with the software update. Considering all of the terrific phones out right now, hopefully this video will help you decide whether the Pixel 2 XL is the right phone for you. This is my Google Pixel 2 XL review after the hype. Phones made by Google have always been focused on software. The Pixel 2 XL is similar in that the phone is still mainly software focused, but different in that, at least with the XL, it has a design that competes with the other flagships of 2017. The construction feels very solid. It has a mostly aluminum back with a glass portion at the top. The front of the phone is Corning's Gorilla Glass 5. It may not be the prettiest phone out right now, but personally, I think the design is very clean. And I also applaud Google for putting dual front-firing speakers on their latest flagship. Powering the phone is an octa-core Snapdragon 835 processor. On its back, it has a single 12.2 megapixel camera that can take depth effect pictures utilizing AI and machine learning. It can record 4K video at up to 30 frames per second. It has both optical and electronic image stabilization. The 2XL's front camera is 8 megapixels with an aperture of f2.4. It can also take depth effect pictures using software and can shoot 1080p video at up to 30 frames per second. Its screen is a 6-inch POLED panel with a QHD Plus resolution of 1440 by 2880. I never experienced the burn-in issues that people were having. And I also really don't mind the blue tint because it is only blatantly obvious when the screen is all white. But what really stood out to me was how low quality the screen appeared to be. Honestly, I was very shocked when I first turned on the phone because the colors just looked outright dull. I understand that Google was trying to make their colors look more natural, but they were looking very bad. With many users expressing their frustrations, Google quickly responded by pushing out a software update that now has a saturated mode. And let me tell you, it made a drastic difference. Colors actually pop the way they're supposed to on an OLED display. Just looking at the difference in how the home screen looks shows how big of a difference the update made. Scrolling through Instagram pictures and watching YouTube videos is now as pleasant as it should be on a device at this price point. Also, the screen still looks pretty good even outside in sunlight. The software update, in my opinion, greatly reduced the enormous gap between the Pixel 2 XL screen and other high-quality OLED screens on flagships, such as the Note 8 and the iPhone X. I'm not saying that the display is better than the ones on the other two phones, but in my mind, the screen shouldn't be the issue that sways you from purchasing a Pixel 2 XL any longer. In terms of battery, the Pixel 2 XL houses a 3520 mAh battery. It's a great battery capacity for a phone this slim and light, and in my testing, the battery performed excellently. A lot of the times, it'd still be around 20% by the time I head to bed. On other days of more heavy usage, the battery gets low enough to the point where I feel inclined to charge it. But Google includes a fast-charging USB-C wall adapter that will give you hours of usage in just 15 to 30 minutes of charge. Another thing to note is just last night I forgot to plug it in and it dropped by only a couple of percent to 20% when I woke up. So battery is another thing that you don't have to worry about with this phone. Now shifting away from the specs, I want to talk about a few things that I love about this phone. With the trend in 2017 of reducing the bezels on the front of the phone, some phone manufacturers seem to be sacrificing the actual audio that comes out of their devices. Smartphones have become more media consumption devices, and the Pixel 2 XL's front-firing speakers make watching YouTube videos, movies, and listening to music a great experience. The speakers allow you to naturally hold your phone without muffling the audio. Portrait mode is unbelievable on this phone. Yes, the camera specs on paper look the same as most flagships out there, and some would even look down upon the single lens. But this camera is phenomenal. Yeah, there may be shots where the Pixel 2 XL would make its image appear too cool and would sacrifice color accuracy for insane levels of detail. But I've never been more inclined to take pictures using my phone than with the Pixel 2 XL. The portrait modes on both the front and back camera are so good that you could leave your professional camera at home and take terrific casual pictures with your phone. Its performance is great in good lighting and even not so good lighting. I go into more detail about the camera in my in-depth camera comparison videos, so check those out. But I can confidently say that the Pixel 2 XL captures people better than any smartphone camera I've ever seen. As phones and their processors continually improve, our threshold for what we consider lag is continually dropping. I admit that 4GB of RAM make the Pixel 2 XL not the best when it comes to multitasking, and sometimes apps have to be reopened even when I know that I just used it. But when it comes to opening apps from scratch and loading the content within apps, I was honestly shocked to see how fast an Android device could be. Before testing the 2 XL, the Note 8 was my daily driver and honestly did not see it as a slow phone whatsoever. I thought it was, and still think it is, a very snappy phone. But when I'm using the Pixel 2 XL, the phone is so fast that I forget that there are certain things that usually take significantly more time to load. I'm scrolling through Instagram, for example, and I see on one single scroll, the phone could load and zip through 20 or so pictures until it needs to load more. And in the split seconds it takes to load more images, I could scroll through another 20 to 30 pictures just like that. Every app I use shows those characteristics. It is able to load so much content in such little time, then I doubt you'll even experience it load if you were actually scrolling at a readable pace in whatever app you're in. This leads me into the Pixel 2 XL's stock Android 8 Oreo experience. And if there was one word that I would use to describe it, it would be clean. Google has added subtle features to this phone that I really appreciate. When your background is dark, the notification shade changes from white to black to match. When you're listening to music or watching YouTube, the notification tile will change colors to match the color of the album artwork or thumbnail. On your always-on display, you could even have it automatically locally detect and display the information of a song playing around you. I even surprisingly like the cards that live on the left of your home screen. Every day I find really interesting articles that I wouldn't have been able to read otherwise. The well-placed fingerprint sensor and the handy gesture also make pulling down the notification shade very simple. And I haven't had any issues or too many accidental squeezes when using the squeeze for Google Assistant functionality. If you want to see everything you could do with the Pixel 2 XL in more detail, check out my Pixel 2 XL tips and tricks video. Long story short, with the Pixel 2 XL, you experience Android the way Google intended for you to. You will always have the latest, most optimized software available. And with the reduction in bloatware and extra features, the Pixel 2 XL is able to be navigated with little to no lag. Now I'd like to share some things that I consider to be drawbacks when choosing a Pixel 2 XL. For most of which, Google has responded with somewhat of a solution. The Pixel 2 XL has no headphone jack. I explained in my Note 8 review that there's still a certain level of ease and reliability that come with wired headphones. Google does include a very large dongle in the box so that you may use wired headphones, but the reality is you won't always have the dongle with you. On the other hand, it seems like everyone is switching over to Bluetooth. The Pixel 2 XL has no wireless charging. This was a feature that I understand isn't used too often, but for a flagship price, and because even iPhones have adopted it, I look down on Google for leaving out wireless charging. The Pixel 2 XL has no expandable storage. Google gave somewhat of a solution by providing unlimited storage of photos and videos for at least 2 years, but it still isn't the same as having the extra storage local on your device and always available. Lastly, for $850, I honestly expected a little more in terms of extra features that have become standard in other Android devices for years. Generally, I'm a person who wants the latest and greatest features on a smartphone, and in reality, the Pixel 2 XL doesn't have a lot of those features. But Google has done an incredible job of making the experience of the phone feel so fluid. Also, the screen appears to be so much more vibrant after the update to the point where the screen is no longer blatantly bad. And the front-firing speakers have led me to pick up the phone first when watching or listening to any sort of media. Those reasons, on top of the fact that the Google Pixel 2 XL's cameras produce such amazing photos, have led me to really love this phone. But I also understand that, because of the drawbacks I just stated, people will look elsewhere when they're choosing a new device. But if you want the latest and untouched Android experience, the Google Pixel 2 XL is the phone for you. You have to use it to really get a taste of how fluid the phone actually is. For me, the fluidity, the front-firing speakers, the updated screen, and the amazing camera have drawn me in so much to the point where this is my new Android daily driver. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up. I'm working on a ton of new content right now, so make sure to click the logo down below to subscribe and have the notification bell clicked to stay up to date on my latest videos. Check the description for links to my social media accounts, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.